All right, this is probably the hardest of the labs we've been doing so far. It's got a lot of just like stuff you need to do. But let's first go over what they're asking you to do. All right, so you should have a form input that takes it in a number. Okay, let's say two. Then a drop down list with the different types of coins there are. And then I select the type of coin that I want, and then I'll hit this make money button. When I click the make money button, it should show me like an image or text of the money in question. So if I put two for dimes, I should show two dimes. If I put in three quarters, it should show three quarters. Okay, so how many coins are there? What type of coin? You hit make money, it makes the coins. Okay, so if I click on a coin, it should be able to get rid of it. So if I click that quarter, it goes. Click this dime, it goes. All right, so it's very important when you do labs to make certain you understand what it's asking you to do. Um, it's you have to break it down, right? So basically, you're gathering information from the user, how many coins and what type of coin, and then you're submitting a form. All right, so let's look at the HTML first. Will they put in the right thingy? Close this out, go here. All right, so I just did some like styling stuff. You don't have to do this. I care more about the functionality. But basically, what I did was I have a form, okay, and I gave it an ID, and then I had an input, which is type number, and then a select list. Now to do a drop down list, it's called a select list, and you have select, and then you'll have options. Okay, each option is like the choice that the person gets to pick from. Now, key thing is to make certain, because we're using a form, is to give your inputs names. So this input is called quantity, okay, which makes sense. We're asking them for a quantity of coins. This select list's name is money type. Okay, that makes sense. I'm asking them for the type of money. All right, so I also have IDs to help me target these two things. So this is very important to be able to put the name here because we're going to use form data. All right, so we've got our HTML, and again, yours may not look exactly like this, but as long as you have a form, an input for a number, and a select list, and hopefully some labels so people know what the heck these things are, then you should be good. Okay, remember, in order to use form data, we have to have the name. So let's go to our script. So I identified that I'm going to be working with the form. Okay, cool. So I got the form by its ID. And that I made a container for the money. So what I did was I created this little like placeholder. I use section. You can use div. It doesn't really matter. Um, as I add coins to the DOM, they're going to be appended to this div, this money container section thing I created. Again, use a div, use a section, whatever you want to do. I gave it the ID of money container, so I target it with its ID, and now I've got it. All right, then I add event listeners. So it follows the same pattern, like target your stuff, add your event listeners, write your functions. All right, so my event listener, I'm going to add to the form, and it's going to be when someone submits the form, run the submit function. Okay, we don't even need this false anymore. That's old school. Okay, so you can just do it like this. Now, here is the main thing. We don't, there could be any amount of coins on the screen at any given time. We don't know what the user is going to actually pick beforehand. So we're going to use event bubbling. Okay, I'm going to put an event listener on the parent event because really what's going to end up happening is that section will eventually have inside of it images, for example, right? And it's going to have these image tags inside of it. It doesn't have it right now, but we're going to dynamically add it. So because these images will be children, okay, to the section tags, remember a tag inside of another tag is that tag's child. So this is the child tag, the section is the parent tag. So since we're going to have a bunch of child tags, we can use event bubbling. If I click on the child tag, that event will bubble up to its parent. So I'm going to add a click event to the money container, and then away we go. We just need to write two functions, submit and remove money. All right, submit takes in an event. I don't want the form to refresh, so I'm going to prevent the default behavior of the form. So event.prevent default. And then let's use form data. Okay, it's this, this built-in class we get to use from JavaScript. It's wonderful, makes life easy. So first off, I'm going to take my form and put it into form data. So new form data form. Right now I'm going to get my values. Let quantity equals data.get quantity. So what that means is go inside the form, find me an element with the name of quantity, and give me what the person typed into that form. That's what that means. Okay, this name here had to match this name here. Right, cool. Whatever they typed, I got it. Same thing with the select list. Okay, let type equal data.get money type. So money type is the name of the select list. I want to know whether they gave me a quarter, dime, nickel, or penny or whatever. Cool. All right, so I know how many coins. I know what type of coin. So since I basically want to add a coin for each, basically as many times as they picked, right? So if they picked 2 dimes, I want to show 2 dimes. It's a loop. So I have a for loop on line 14. It loops for as many as they gave me. So if they give me 2, it will loop twice. If they gave me 5, it will loop 5 times. Let I equal 0, I is less than quantity, I plus plus. And then I just had add money to list as a separate function. So add money to list is a different function. It takes in the type of money, dime, quarter, nickel, penny. Okay, and then let's go over this, because this is the part that's actually adding the, this function adds the money image to the DOM. Okay, cool. First off, we use document.createElement. This is very important. Create element is when we want to add tags to the page. You can just go ahead, don't have to necessarily edit the HTML manually. You can add tags to the page in JavaScript. Create excuse me, create element is the function for that. So I want to create an image tag. Cool, great. Now let's actually fill in our image tag. What's its SRC going to do? What's its source? Notice how I just made the string, like image plus whatever, like, I keep all my images in this image folder, dime, nickel, penny, quarter. And notice how, like, if they give dime, it'll be dime. So go get the image. Inner HTML is money. Cool. Class list is, I added a class to it just so that they can look a certain way. I want to make sure all the images were the same size. And then the main point here is money container. Okay, this was the money container. Or this section div right here is the money container. Right? Append child means put it inside, make a child element. So what it's going to do is it's going to take that image and put it inside like this. And then it will append child, and that's it. So we can see this in action. I'll put in 3. Okay. When I click this button, this function will run. It will prevent the form from refreshing the page. It will grab the quantity, which is this, and the money type, which is this. It will loop 3 times. For each time it loops, it will create an image tag. It will set that image tag's source to based on the money, and then add a class, and then all it will do is it will append it to the section. So if I do this, I see 3 quarters. And if we look at the HTML, let's do a bit bigger. More time, let's do 3 quarters, inspect. Okay, so look at this money container. You see how if I open it up, see how inside it's got all those images. They weren't there before. They were added by JavaScript. Cool, right? So it's got source equals image quarter.jpg, class equals money pick. And if I do, like, I don't know, 6 pennies. There we go. See how it added more? Okay, so it'll just keep appending child. That's what append child does. Append child basically means add children into this. So if I do 1 dime, cool. See how it added dime. So we'll just keep appending. Appending means add to the last. So you think of this as a list. Append we would always put at the end, and it will just keep going and going and going until I tell it to, as long as I tell it to do stuff. So let's say there's like, I don't know, 12 nickels. Cool. It appended it 12 times. That's what that for loop is doing. This is the result of the for loop. All right, so now you can see that we've added the coins. Now the last thing we have to do is, well, Jonathan, like we need to click on a coin and get rid of it. But the problem is that we could have any number of coins on the screen. We could have 10 pennies, 100, 2 dimes, 6 quarters. I don't know what the user's going to pick. Okay, we don't know what number they're going to put in here beforehand, but that's fine. We're going to use event bubbling. So remember, each of these image tags is a child to the money container. So when I click on image, the event will bubble up to the section. And remember, back in the code, I added an event listener to the money container, saying when you click it, remove the money. Now here, I have the function remove money that takes in an event, and that event has a target. Okay, the target will be the thing I clicked. And then there's a handy function which is just remove, which does exactly what you think it does. It removes it from the DOM. So that means when I go back, when I click this dime, okay, let's go find the dime. Here's the dime right here. When I click on this dime, the event will occur and bubble up to the section. Okay, the event listener is on the section. So it'll be like, cool, what do you want me to do? I want you to run the remove money function. Okay, cool. Now I run the move money function and take the target of the event, which was clicking on the dime, and remove it. So that way when I do this, okay, bye-bye Mr. Dime. Okay, it's gone. Okay, because that was a target of the event, right? And that's what event bubbling does. So I don't care how many coins there are here. Okay, I'm going to put like, I don't know, 56 quarters. Cool, great, awesome, 56 quarters. I don't know what the user's going to pick, but it doesn't matter because this whole container has the event listener. So that means the children of the container will have their events bubble up to the parent, and then I can handle them. All right, and that is an excellent case of when we would use event bubbling in JavaScript. All right, I hope that made sense, and good luck with your projects.